Oh, what's your feelings on that? It's obviously defeat, which is always disappointing, but performance?
Yeah, I mean, I can put a sugar on a dog poo. I thought, apart from the first 6 or 7 minutes where it looked like literally men against boys, and we looked a little bit not intimidated, but yeah, maybe we just didn't. They started really well, we didn't, and I was thinking could be a very long night. Then after that, I thought we settled in the game pretty well, and Will Cole had a good chance with a header. If that goes in, the game obviously changes on goals. But I thought we played quite well first half, and obviously their team was very strong. We had some people first 90 minutes or games back, and I had to try and shuffle the pack. Another big game Saturday, so. For what we were able to put out, knowing the rushness in the team, I was really proud of the performance. I thought there were some standout ones. I thought Rush was excellent. So I had to get him off and put him in bubble wrap. So, generally speaking, I was pretty proud of the performance. I just wish there had been a bit more belief at the start of the game. So that's the only disappointment. And then I think they had 2 shots on target. I'm not saying they weren't the better team, they were, but they had 2 shots on target. So. Considering what the lads were playing up against, I'm pretty proud of their performance.
What were you feeling when you saw their team? Because they dispatched Sheffield United on Saturday, and then they made 5 changes?
Yeah, I was pretty surprised. They changed the goalie. Brought in fairness, one of their changes was their best centre half coming back, so didn't feel like a negative change. So yeah, you as a manager, you pick the team that you want to pick, and if everyone was super fit, I might have picked a different team. But I'm also conscious of like Saturday, Tuesday. Like, don't want to sound like that guy, but it's the truth. I want to be competitive in games, and we were very competitive, of which I'm proud of. But I've also got to be like thinking of what's going to be tomorrow and the day after. So their team was very strong. It's a bit like if you play Man City in the Cup, you think, they've got to rest a few, surely. And then they made changes at half-time that made them even stronger. But the lads hung in there, and physically it was obviously tough near the end for a few, and it was nice to get Marvin minutes. I mean, the last few were bordering on precarious. We changed the shape a couple of times, and we changed people in positions a couple of times to try and save their legs. Obviously it was Nate's first game back, Scotty's first game back. I did intend to get Krause on the pitch, but that didn't happen. And then, Will Collar got more minutes in his legs. So Aaron, I don't know how he keeps going. That blew my mind, because he looked beat after 20, and he hung in there against one of the better players in the champ near the end. So yeah, all in all, they picked a very strong team, and I was happy with the team we picked, and I was proud of how they played.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan Thompson, that's a big one, isn't it? Because in the pre-season, he had that relapse, or it looked like he might be out for a bit longer than he is, and here he is captaining the side in the first half.
Really good, and it's always a tough one. You're led by science, but you're led by your heart a bit, and you're thinking like, I sound like a dinosaur here, so you can edit all this out, but back in the day, you would just, once you're fit, you just play, whereas now it's like a 45 minute, then a 60, then a 90, and you speak to the players. I respect the players. Spoke to Scotty and Nate at half time. Said, "Hey, how do you feel?" Because I might be a bit more old school, thinking I'll just try and get as much out of them as I can, because they'll be a lot fitter on the way home than they were when they came. So that was really pleasing, and they've only been training over a week. So for their outputs against, like I said, a good top champ team, they should be really proud of themselves.
I mean, this is MK Dons were here 10 years ago last time. This is where they ultimately, over the next few years, want to get back to playing these teams week in, week out. This is where they want to be.
Yeah, and the following looked like they had a great time. I thought the fans were amazing tonight. They were singing like we were winning. I had to keep checking the scoreline, but which is a real positive thing. And I think, if there was part of me thinking if we were like fully fit and fully guns out, we would have been even more competition against them, which is great. And that's not taking anything away from the lads who started the game, but there was rustiness there, obviously. So yeah, hopefully, however long that takes, we can get the club playing at places like this again. That is in case they go to the Premier League, then it's going to be a little bit harder, if I'm honest.
That's true. Good point.
I thought at times we performed admirably, and it gives me a real sense of excitement looking forward to the games coming up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about these games. You give players. I mean, you made 9 changes, so you're effectively giving 9 players the opportunity to say, pick me on Saturday.
Yeah, and I said that to him before the game. I said, look, don't live in regret. And in 20 years' time, if I text you and said we could go back 20 years to tonight, would you think your knees don't hurt as much, but you'd be well excited to have this opportunity again? And be the person, and this will happen because we'll watch the game back on the bus. Be the person the coaches talk about and go, wow, he played really well. And it's a real good opportunity. I don't want my players to live off their agents and hide behind their agents. The agent phones up and says, "Oh, why is he not playing?" You get in the team because you perform the best. You give an opportunity to let's see what you've got. And I thought a lot of the players done themselves a really good service tonight. And like I said, they'll be a little bit fitter for selection come the weekend. And I've been able to keep other players out of it. Really, that's the truth. We popped Pato on for 15 minutes, but he could probably play for 3 hours. It wouldn't make any difference to him. Didn't put Mendes on, and didn't put Gethin on. So there's a few players that we've kept out with the importance of Saturday. But what I've also said to the group, which is true, I don't have 11 favourites. I just pick the 11 I think are going to win games. And if you can have 22 outfield players being competitive like we have, that's a good sign. And I just know that if I go to bed on a Friday night, which I do mostly, I make it sound like I'm sleeping out, but I like to go to bed on a Friday night, put my head down and think, the team I've picked I trust. And a lot of the lads have gained a lot of credence for me tonight, and the coaching staff. And like I said, they'll go home disappointed. The dressing room is disappointed, but then, I think they should be proud of their efforts.
Is this one or two work their way into your thoughts that maybe weren't there before?
There wasn't any surprises. I didn't come away and think. I was amazed at, and I have been amazed, by the way. I just thought Aaron Nemain was it just tickles me that he just keeps going. And like I said, they put on an outstanding player down the left, and he competes. I did think he played well. I thought Rush was excellent at picking the ball up from deep and getting at teams. And I just think that, and I know he's all attacking players are confidence players, but you can just see that if you can get him super confident and having himself in the nicest possible sense, he's got a lot to do because he's causing problems to outstanding athletes in the champ. So he done well. It was nice to see Scotty. I thought he moved well. Didn't have a lot to feed off, unfortunately for him. And I thought the midfield three, especially first half, were really good. So, and then obviously Marv. There was once where they were clean through, and then he put on some nitro, and in 2 steps he got there. Yeah. So I buzz off that, and I like the fact that when Marv does get in the team, if he gets in the team, you can leave it 1v1 on the halfway line because there ain't going to be many players in League Two who could be outrun him. So that was pleasing. So I've virtually named every player, in fairness.
Most of them, yeah.
Charlie Waller, apart from a bit of a shaky start like the team did, I thought he grew into it, won all his headers, a lot more aggressive the more the game went on. And the only difference is, I think, it's like a belief thing. Yeah. You have to, when you step out on the pitch, you have to believe that you're a good player and you perform like it. I think if you, it's like me saying it now I've retired because I was a nervous wreck, but you don't want to have any nerves, you have to have a lot of self-belief, and when we clip it through him and we show him in back, it will do no end for his growth as a player.
Thank you. When you've got players like Scott and Nathan coming back, and Dan Crowley of course as well, it makes your job a bit tougher, but it's great to have these guys back all of a sudden. Yeah,
and it's always the classic that it's a good headache to have. I don't think it's a good headache to have if you have 21 outstanding players. That's a horrific headache to have. But what is good and which you need as a manager is if, for example, I start Pato on Saturday and something happens to Pato, I think, who's my next 9? I think, I've got Scotty fit, and I know Mendes can play there, I know Rush can play there, and the same with the midfield. I think the midfield, Kane got injured at the weekend, he's going to be missing for a couple of weeks, and then the midfield, there's enough depth in the midfield to shape it up and change it. Same with the front line, same with the defensive line. So it doesn't feel like we're a long way from where we want the squad to be. I do think we need more fullback cover. Don't think we have enough fullback cover. That's a thing that's becoming more evident. But I do think the squad is taking shape, and off the back of an energetic performance at the weekend and an energetic performance tonight, there was loads of elements that me and Richard spoke that look like our team. So, which pleases me. The only thing is now that I need to get Callum, Pato to take the throw-ins. It's a bit like write the theme tune, sing the theme tune, that classic. He needs to throw it to himself.
Yeah.
And that would be that would be a unique player. But I just like certain personalities within the team tonight. And when we changed it, everyone give their all for the club, and that's all you can ask.
With your lack of full-back cover, so to speak, is that what prompted you to maybe switch the formation up? Because we saw you playing with wing-backs today in a back three more so than the back four that we've seen.
Yeah, in fairness, we picked the team for many reasons. One was to give as many of the players that we needed to play game time, and it was also to try and rest, look after and bubble wrap Gethin and Joe, really. So I only put Joe on for, did I put him on 25 minutes or something, which physically shouldn't be a problem, although, you might get clattered. But in fairness, he might get clattered walking home, or he might get clattered in training. It's such a thin line between, like, overprotecting and not, if that makes sense. So if anything was to happen to one of our fullbacks, it's a problem. So that's something we're investigating at the moment in the market. But so by playing that way, I just thought that, considering it was Nate's first game back, in a three you have a bit more protection. It was Marv's first game. Again, the same with him. He has a little bit of reassurance around him, and then obviously we played Charlie. So it just felt not safer, but a more sensible decision with what we were dealing with, really.
And the first goals you've conceded or seen conceded by your team since taking over, I mean, we can finally stop talking about it.
Yeah.
But,
I don't think League Cup games away at a champ count.
Do you know what we were saying?
I'm just going to put that out there. I just don't think it's fair.
Especially the team they put out.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And the first goal is very poor, obviously. A midfielder, 5'10", winning a header in near the 6-yard box isn't acceptable. But yeah, disappointing to concede goals, I suppose. On the positive, Craig still got his clean sheets, and he's buzzing, isn't he? Pull the ladder up, Jack. But Connell done well. His distribution was really good. It's just initially, I just thought he was so keen to get the ball back in play, and I was like screaming, going, "Look, just let the lads breathe, bless them." It's like chaotic out there, and obviously we were all standing here in shorts. It was like 30 odd degrees, wasn't it? So disappointing to lose the clean sheet, but I had a sneaky feeling it might happen sooner or later.